is Crimson 606. Thank you for watching my video. You can catch me on these social media platforms. And if you want... Alright guys, I'm stopping this shit early. I'm back. First of all, I want to take the first couple of minutes. I want to thank everybody who's responded to the video I did earlier this week. And I want to thank everybody for the support. Well, the way it's set up, I did have a meeting with did have a set up time with leadership, and if you want to actually talk to me offline about it, cool. You can DM me in Discord. I'll be there. But today we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna talk about fucking socialism again. Specifically, if you didn't catch my Facebook video, we talked about Professor Wolf, Richard Wolff, who is a unabashed Marxist, and it's a lot different from what a lot of people think as a Soviet, I guess, fucking model of what happened with the Soviet Union. But we are going to get into the first part of the video we already did about the 3 types of socialism. Let's get into the weaknesses and strengths while I actually use some strength to play fucking Conan Exiles. But let's continue.
Welcome back, friends, to the second half of this special program devoted to the different kinds of socialism that are at play in the world today, competing for our attention and competing for our allegiance for those of us that are interested in doing better than capitalism. I want to ask this question in our second half. How do these different kinds of socialism, these different ideas of what socialism means, how do they affect us? How would they affect us? How have they affected us as individuals working and living our lives? So let's start with the first one. We can call it moderate socialism. Some people call it democratic socialism. It has a lot of names, but it was that kind we talked about first.
All right, so just to give a recap, the socialism that he's about to mention is just truly what we have in our system now, albeit to a degree. It's where the government comes in and says, hey, we want you to do this, this, and this, treat your workers this, and this type of way. And yeah, it's a conflict between the capitalist who owns the means of production and the employees. Now, we literally have that here. Wow, can't English tonight, is not a complete socialist country. But it does have some socialism where the government comes in and says, your workers have these rights, you have to pay them this amount of wage. And capitalists are always trying to eat away those protections in pursuit of the almighty profit. But let's listen to this explanation.
In the first half of this program, namely when the government is called in, you leave enterprises in the hands of the private owners and operators as you have in capitalism. You leave the market as the basic institution to distribute goods and services, but the government comes in to regulate and to redistribute the wealth because of the tendencies towards inequality that capitalism without government tends to show us over and over again. I think the things I would like to stress there are that on the one hand, people in that kind of a socialist society are usually quite supportive of it. If you look at the Scandinavian countries and a number of the Western European countries that are kind of prime examples of this sort of thing, or you look at the image of what Mr. Bernie Sanders wants for the United States, and he himself refers to Denmark and so on as models, at least in part, you get the impression that what this means is that working people have kinds of 2 sources of well-being. On the one hand, they work and earn a wage or a salary, and on the other hand, they have a very generous supply of public services made available to them by that socialist government. If
All right, so this is why we have the term Social Security. This is one of the reasons why we see all of these different social programs, the social safety net, as it were. No surprise. And yeah, fuck. Now, I would love to live in a fucking country where we get free childcare. Do you know that there are some countries where a woman gets up to 1 year of fully paid maternity leave, and on top of that, I think it's half a year for the second year? Now, that is that shit is why is it so why don't we have that? Why don't we fucking have that where if you so concerned about unborn babies and the children, why is it as soon as you spit the kid out, back to work, 6 weeks, and here goes some bootstraps? Fuck you. But let's. This is not my rant hour. This is me talking about this shit.
If you look in Europe's history, for example, Scandinavia or France or Germany or Italy, you will see that it was the socialists who pushed for the national health service that they have, the unemployment compensation system that they have, the subsidized transportation, the subsidized public education. These were all ways for the government to come in and make life better for the average person. So there's a sense of support for the socialists in those countries and for the socialism they have, which is one explanation for why it has been so durable over the last century in which it was established there.
Come on.
The problem, if you like, and we have to weigh the costs and benefits of all of these, the problem for this kind of socialism is that it is very insecure.
Yes.
Let me explain. If you leave the ownership and operation of enterprises in the hands of private people, then those private people are, in all cases, a very small minority of the society. They sit at the top of the economic system. They're the ones who own the bulk of the shares. They're the ones who sit on the board of directors, all of that. And they are constantly struggling to use those positions they have, which includes getting the surplus or profits of the society into their hands, to diminish the regulations, to be freer to do things their enterprises lead them to believe will be profitable. They don't want to be hemmed in by regulations.
So this is where you get the new neoliberals, neoconservatives, the anarcho-capitalists, where the market should just be free. Fuck government. And when you have that system, you get people playing into their own fucking greed and just their own devices, where motherfuckers will fucking cut you to make a motherfucking dollar. And I'm sorry. That's wrong. They won't cut you to make a profit. But what they would do is make sure that if you cut yourself, if it costs more for you to fucking bleed out, to be saved than to bleed out, well, business needs. But let's continue.
And they don't want their wealth taken from them by a redistributive government. So they begin to push back, and they have the incentive, but they also have the resources to push back, and so they take away the very socialist benefits that have been captured in earlier periods of their history, which means this kind of socialism is fundamentally insecure. Here's a second problem of that kind of socialism.
All right, before we get to that first problem, insecure. It is very fucking secure. It's about as insecure with G-Man and his manhood, but I digress. So, here's the thing. When it comes to insecure, that type of shit is the system that we have now. And you think it's not? We literally have socialism right now where the government comes in and tells a company what to do. Although under the current administration, we're getting a little lackadaisical in catching these companies of what they need to do. But you get these cycles of boom and bust every fucking 4 to 8 years. And if it's too, like, and I'm quoting, I was watching a video of him earlier today. But when you get this situation where, you know, for 150 fucking years since we've actually standardized a simple system of capitalism, you get these booms and busts. And I'm sorry, this shit is not helpful to any fucking body except for the people at the very top. And even then, at some point, rich people got to remember the Hamptons are not a defendable position. Like Mark Blythe said, rich people can't live with the state, can't live without it, and doesn't want to pay for it. But let's fucking continue.
Redistribution. Governments that use taxes to move wealth, at least in part, away from those at the top and spread that wealth out more evenly across the society. This leads to incredible social tensions. Wherever redistribution happens, that is a result. I use this example, I'm going to use it again. If you take your child...
All right, so this example is actually a lot of what we see now. And he's going to explain it, but this is funny. Let's go.
To the park, and you have two children, and you take them to the park, and now it's time to get ice cream cones. And if you get the ice cream cones and you get two of them and you give them to one child, and then you say, "Whoa, this isn't fair, let's redistribute," and you pull one cone away from the one child to give to the other, you're creating a level of tension you would never have had to deal with if you'd given each child one cone at the beginning. When we have a government step in to redistribute, we invite intense social struggle, intense social animosities amongst us as a people. It's not smart. And that kind of socialism is constantly bedeviled by struggles among people over a redistribution you would not have if you distributed less unequally to begin with.
All right, so yeah, let's just tackle this part right here. And wow, I'm getting through this video pretty quickly. So we all know the system that we live in is fucked up. And because of this fucked up system, people start believing certain shit. Like the incident I talked about earlier this week. Because I make more money than you, then I'm more valuable than you. Because I'm one or two steps up on the totem pole, then fuck you. Or the one that is amazingly just classic, well, one day you're going to be rich. You're nothing but an inconvenience millionaire. And everybody else is taking your money. What type of shit is this? What type of shit are we falling for? And newsflash, it never happens in the great number of quantities that they tell us that it should. But let's continue. Second form.
Let's turn to the second one, the communist alternative. When the government takes over running and owning enterprises and plans the output. Well, there what we have is interesting results. First, these sorts of economies have been stunningly successful in achieving one of their central goals, which is economic growth.
I'm trying to keep watching the
This comes as a shock to
channel.
Americans, but it has to be
The chat
repeated
channel.
so we are not living in a fantasy world. The two most spectacular stories of economic growth of a society going from poverty to wealth in record time is the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics and the People's Republic of China. Wow. Communist China, Communist Russia, are examples in which having one central authority, the government, mobilize and focus on economic growth, of ending centuries of policy of poverty, have been extraordinarily successful.
All right, so this, when you think about it, this shit is right. Now, that's not to dissuade some of the things that are coming. Oh, because they are fucking coming. Trust me on this. But when you look at the feudalist societies, the reason why World War One turned out the way it did is because the Allies, which Russia was a part of the Allies at that time, they started to fall apart because the Bolshevist revolution, the fucking revolution in Russia that killed the royal family. And if you haven't actually heard of the shit that happened to the royal family when that happened, it was a fucking horrible ass story. And quite frankly, it was fucking disgusting because yes, it was the royal family basically had lived off the people, and during one of the last czar's coronation, they ran on a fucking beer and pretzels for some shit, and it caused a fucking stampede. Not stampede, a riot, which led into a stampede. You know what the fuck I mean. And look at China before the communists took over. It was again a feudalist society. Quite literally, China didn't have a break from World War One to World War Two because Japan was steadily expanding. And god damn it, a lot of people don't realize what a shitty situation China and Russia was in for over the 20th century. Now, granted, there is some downside to have such a centralized power because they kind of turned into a totalitarian state where it was an oligarch and it was what the fuck is that called? Basically, rich people were running it. It was no true communist, and I wouldn't give a lot of people who want to say this the state was a religion because, newsflash, the Russian Orthodox Church survived everybody. Now, granted, Stalin became the head of the Russian Orthodox Church, but it didn't go away. Putin is a very big patron of the Russian Orthodox Church. Religion never went away in Moscow. It just couldn't be part of the dominance of the state, or it couldn't be excluded from the dominance of the state, like a lot of shit was. But let's continue.
Those are their achievements. They can get economic achievement on a scale that other societies, both capitalist and the other kind of socialism, the regulatory kind, have not been able to achieve. That has to be faced. That is a virtue of those systems. But they too have their problems. Let's look at them. They generally tend to be less unequal than the other kind of socialism usually can be. So They have that in their favor. But in those societies, you have arrogated, you have taken an extraordinary amount of economic power and put it in the hands of a government. And the question has been, and that has been answered now, that putting that amount of power into the hands of the government runs the risk that such a government will use its economic power to also dominate politically and culturally. And remember, if the government takes over the enterprise, it means that instead of the private individuals running the business of the country, it'll be government officials who do it. And that is still a small part of your society. It means a minority. In one case, it's private capitalists. In the other case, it's government officials, is calling all the shots.
All right, so I think he's gonna wrap this part up, but let's just be honest. The Soviet Union was not really socialist. It was still um, the proletariat. I was looking for the word versus the people in power. Now, when we look at the Cold War, the Soviet Union was basically military-industrial complex, the state. Now, I'm not saying that. Yes, you have to acknowledge that it did do some good. Remember, again, going back to the First World War, the Russians were going into World War I with fucking cavalry still, like legit, just cavalry, and they were dragged kicking and screaming into the fucking 20th century. They broke a few eggs. They made one hell of an omelet, but they broke a lot of fucking eggs. And it's a history of a lot of people dying. But that's the that's the bug, not the feature. The actual feature is that yes, they help people live and grow out of a fucking situation where, let's be honest, there were still serfs in there were still serfs in Russia. But let's continue. Let's go to the next one.
And that is politically dangerous. And we've learned that lesson. So in this struggle to ask yourself what life would be like if you were in the first kind of society, a socialism a la Scandinavia, versus the next kind of socialism, the communist variety as you had it in Russia and China, working people, you and I, would have to ask, what will life be like in that kind of arrangement? We don't have mass unemployment. We have government services on a scale we don't in other societies, and we have economic growth. But we also have the uncertainties, the instabilities, and the concentration of power that might be a problem.
So this is one of the reasons why it's two main reasons why I never liked the communist model that you saw with such a totalitarian state. One, you're just changing one boss for the next. You went from one shitty ass supervisor that you don't like to another one. It's just still the same thing. One just has power to kill you by economic violence, by taking away your job, and the other one has power to kill you by actual violence. In the end, whether you're starved to death, dehydrated to death, or shot in the head, or exposed to elements, your ass is still fucking dead. And this is a problem that you actually get with a communist system where the government has all the power. And quite frankly, what do they say? No benevolent, no, the only great totalitarian leader system is as good as long as your benevolent leader is still alive. You can have the best king in the world, the best ruler in the world, the best emperor in the world. But when that motherfucker dies, usually the person behind him is still an asshole. It's an even greater asshole because they didn't have to work for what they got. They were just handed the shit. But let's continue.
Now let's ask what the third kind of socialism would mean for us. A socialism that focused on the enterprise and the workplace more than on the overall running of the society. What would it mean for you and I to go to work every day, 5 days a week, 9 to 5, and walk into a place where we don't just have a particular assigned function, do this, work there, live with that machine, do this activity. We would have a particular function, but we would also be part of what owns and operates the enterprise. We would have to be a leader, not a choice. Just as it's not a choice for most people to go to work and do the particular function at the job, you would not have a choice here either, in the sense that a job always means both a particular activity within the division of labor at your workplace, but also your participation in making all of the basic decisions.
All right, so here's the thing. Wonderful, crazy shit to think of. I do not believe, and hear me out on this, most people are smart enough to be a singular leader. I don't. One concentrated head of power. And I actually believe this is like, this model that he's talking about is probably the closest thing I would see actually happening. But we actually have some close examples of it happening. Unions obviously is a very watered down of this, where union members will get together and actually decide as a group vote of how things will go. We have co-ops, and yes, you would only be as strong as your weakest link. However, if you got a whole bunch of motherfucking links surrounding one area, that one weak link can actually garner strength from other links in the chain. Now, do I believe that there are some people that just need to be told what to fucking do, what to think, and how to proceed their everyday life? Yes. Is it an inherent thing to them? I don't know. I can't really say that. I can say that if we had more free time to spend with children from infancy, and I don't just mean women stay at home with the kids. I literally mean that if we had time to actually enjoy ourselves, spend less time doing menial tasks in order to quote unquote survive, I think the world will be a very different fucking place. How different would it be with all the advances of technology, instead of going from a standard 8-hour day, 6, 4, everybody. And we have the means to have everybody with employment at the same amount of fucking money that they make now, probably even more. Just, with people taking care of each other and shit. But no, because greed. Let's let this shit finish. Here we go.
What to produce, how to produce, where to produce, and what to do with the profits that you helped to produce, just like every other worker. You'd be part of a community at the workplace. You'd have one vote for each person. Decisions would be made democratically. The design of the work, the pace of the work, how you interact with other people on the job, all of those things would be decided collectively and not imposed by a minority. You'd have to think, is that a better way to work? Is that kind of workplace something that has attracted people for centuries to co-ops, to worker co-ops, to collective forms of labor?
Yes.
What does it mean in your own life? I think the idea of this third socialism is to achieve something in your daily life that the other two socialisms never did. That when the first kind had the government regulation, or the second kind, the communist kind, had the government take over, the transformation of the workplace never happened. You were still the worker who comes and does what he or she is told for the 8 hours and then goes home. This is a new world, this third kind of social.
All right, so just to get into it, just to actually have this conversation, what we actually talk about, what he's actually talking about is this. We are supposedly living in a fucking democratic nation. Arguments on how true that is. In reality, we live in a republic. Let's be honest. We live in a democratic republic, but we're gonna call it a democratic nation just to make ourselves feel better. And quite frankly, we live in this nation where we have the opportunity to vote, but we also go to work where somebody just tells you what to do. Now, again, I know that there are some people that just need to be told what to do. That's why, with all the evidence that we have against it, there are still people that are religious. I get that. I get that there are people that weren't encouraged to be more mindful, to be more skeptical of different things. I fucking get that. But the way we live life now, in a majority of jobs that a lot of people have, is just fucking horrible. And I just wish more people would actually see that shit. I wish more people would actually understand that you can actually have a better fucking situation. But let's let Dr. Wolf continue.
That's why it's probably the one you're going to hear most about in the years ahead, because it is new and it doesn't have quite the problems that the other ones do. But here are some problems that the new one will have too. How do these worker co-ops, these communities in each factory, in each store, in each office, how do they interact with one another? Will they use markets to buy and sell from one another? Will they employ some kind of collective planning of how they interact with one another? It will be a new world, this socialism, because it is composed of people who are really in charge of their economic lives in a way that was never true under capitalism and not true under other forms of socialism either, because they were focused on running the system, on the overall, and not on the particular in each workplace. We'll have to discover in this new socialism, if and when it happens, how we interact with one another when all the details of the work are collectively designed. When everybody is a boss as well as a bossed person. When we rotate whatever particular functions have to be in leadership so that we don't get one group that are leaders all the time and everybody else who isn't. All of those things will change. We will have to learn new ways of interacting with one another. But if the idea of socialism really is, as it was once said it would be, to go beyond capitalism, to do better than capitalism, well, then that third one is by far the most transformative for people's lives of the three that are contesting.
All right, so this video, he's actually just giving the tagline saying, like and subscribe. And I would actually encourage you, follow the channel. If you think, even if you want to argue with the shit, if you want to have a conversation and say, no, I think socialism is bad, Red Scare, and all that other good bullshit, I still would encourage you to actually follow people like this. Like the Rucker Bergman video that I did, like the Mark Blythe video I did, the other Richard Wolf videos that I've done. I would encourage you to actually watch it. And you don't have to fucking believe with it, but at least you don't have this fucking straw man of, well, you just want the government to come in and eat the rich people. Not yet, at least. But I say all of this because in the end, we need to have a better way. We need to stop looking at people as fucking numbers on the spreadsheet and just fucking people, resources for us to say, hey, I can get some rich experience from you by learning your point of view. Did that tree just sway in the fucking wind? Oh, the fuck? The tree sway in the fucking wind. Oh, shit. I just paid attention to that. But, and it's quite alarming that people just see other people as means to an end. Now, granted, I can understand that thought process of seeing people as means to an end. But at some point, you gotta be like, it's only so much food, it's only so much sleep, it's only so much water, it's only so much enjoyment that you can get from people. At some point, you have to actually say, hey, you're a person. And what is it? I was watching the fucking clip from Rick and Morty earlier today. Um, no one's put here on purpose. Everyone is gonna die and all that other shit. Like, fuck, people are something that another person is more than just a resource for you to get your gratification. Unless your gratification coming from interaction with people and actually understanding them and like having true empathy for them, then yeah, of course, and then that's like the best way of actually using people because you share intimacy with them. But I digress. This is me trying to just clean and wash the filth that I've had from work off. This has been a difficult week. No sugarcoating with it. But now that that difficult week is gone, I, guys, I want to actually thank I want to thank Democracy at Work. Go ahead and subscribe to that channel. I thought I subscribed to it, but go ahead and subscribe to that channel. Watch it, YouTube. It's actually pretty fun. Now. I'm going to actually have another conversation with you guys. And this may be quite a bit longer. First off, let's actually do some housekeeping shit. Okay? Let me put you in a safe place, my man, so we can actually address a couple things. All right, so oh shit, I forgot to. There was another video. All right, so we're gonna actually address this. All right, so I know that I'm asking a lot of people to fucking pay attention to a lot of things, and what I'm gonna ask you guys is this. I know I have the newly converted Crimson 60620 PS4 gaming. I know I have my YouTube channel and I have my Twitch channel. I know I have my Twitter channel, my Twitter page, so people can get in direct contact with me. All of them starts with Crimson 60620. I have my fucking Etsy page and my DeviantArt page. Now, why am I doing all of this? It's not actually for some needed affirmation. Because quite frankly, I'm already great. No. Those who knew him loved him. Those who didn't know him loved him from afar. I forgot where Star Trek got that shit from. But no, what I'm actually trying to do is one of the things that I want to actually expound on and actually work towards, and you actually see me say it all the time. I want to normalize people like me with my skin color, with my cultural background, from fucking exist. I want them to exist on the interwebs, the internet, whatever the fuck you want to call it. It is so many people that I know that are at my job, guys younger than me that game, that actually have crazy fucking stories about how they fucking play games. And I want them to actually interact more. Put the shit online. If we fucking saturate the market of African Americans being on YouTube, being on Twitch, I don't give a fuck. Because being familiar with somebody, I can't English tonight, or being familiar with the concept of who somebody is instead of some nebulous stranger that you don't know or some nebulous culture that you don't know. It actually takes away fear. It actually takes away apprehension. It actually takes away fucking stereotypes. And if we know anything about, in God, this is gonna sound bad. If we know anything about June being Pride Month, when it became more forward and open to people saying, "Hey, this person that has this different lifestyle is just like me in just a small different way. They're different," and I want to actually see that from more African Americans. I want to see that from more people that have different takes on life, especially our African American people. I don't want to actually just be on YouTube or Twitch where somebody is just, especially YouTube, where it's just a black person rapping. You may get your black nerds, and you may get your turncoats that feels that it's more advantageous to actually make money saying that black people have a problem. No, we don't need more Jesse Lee Petersons of the world. What we need are people that you can relate to, people that you can have a conversation with. You don't need to have it where the only experience that people have of specific cultures, specific people, is just, well, I saw them on the news and this bad thing happened to them, but they must have did something wrong. If you are watching my channel, Twitch, YouTube, and not even if you're black, if you're just a person of color, those others that people actually just say crazy shit about or have crazy stereotypes about, I want you to link together with other people, and be it outside of just, even if it's only a little bit outside of your comfort zone. I want you to link together and start fucking showing what people could connect with. I get tired of going on Facebook and seeing a lot of African Americans that's involved in drama because, well, that's what gets them. And I want to fucking talk about this on my panel that I have at Anime Midwest. Born in the 82, 37 years old. And I was always a bigger guy as far as, now I'm fat. I was never the skinny black nerd, but I did have some nerdish shit. The reason why I started drawing is because I started drawing Dragon Ball Z shit because I was into anime. I was into video games. And a lot of the guys that I knew in elementary school, went to a private elementary school, they felt sports was the way to make it. And I'm not knocking them. One actually did try to go semi-pro, but it was more or less, that was the perceived way of getting ahead in life. And I think that's one of the reasons why I just don't watch certain shows, because I don't want to see it as, the stereotypical black mated person is in music industry, like you will see with Empire or Players Guild, like, or the basketball show that was on Stars right after Power. And damn, we can do this. And shit, I'm gonna be honest with you. Fuck is not. It's work. It takes concentration. That's why I can probably sometime only do like a couple hours here and there. But it's a way of actually saying, fuck it, I exist. Pay attention to me. This is what I feel about shit. And I'm not asking somebody to change their language or, you know, quote unquote, talk white or do anything of that nature. We're not turning into the whole sorry to bother you type of stereotype. But what I really, really want is just if you're somebody that's outside the norm, if you don't see yourself represented in the whole streaming culture, gaming culture that you see on YouTube or Twitch, fucking get a camera. I started my channel really, and this is like a $20 webcam and $100 computer with like $60 worth of parts. But I started my gaming channel legitly with the PlayStation camera and the fucking PlayStation. So yeah, just the shit that I want to actually, and yeah, you may not be able to make millions of dollars off of it, but you can at least share your story. And that's what I feel is actually pretty cool. Share your opinion. Encourage conversations. That shit is always cool. But I did some good shit. I did some personal story shit. Now I gotta do this shit. Now, the reason why I'm doing this video over again, I'm reviewing this video over again, is simply because it didn't record well. And I guess I am recording well and streaming well. If I wasn't, that's what I feel is actually pretty cool. Oh shit. Let's I'm gonna need a shower after this shit. I'm gonna need a shower after this shit. So oh damn it, I gotta save this video because I gotta make sure I put it in the description. Alright. Alright, cool. Alright. Alright. Alright, so I kind of. Alright, so this is not an example of the shit that I was just talking about. Far from an example of the shit that I was just talking about. As a matter of fact, this is how you do not internet. Seriously, this motherfucker needs some fucking help. Do not internet like this. If you find yourself being this stupid, ignorant, prejudiced, racist, sexist, or homophobic, put down the internet and seek professional fucking help. God damn it. I'm going to take a drink before I do this. Ain't nothing but flavored water. All right. So, this is our good old buddy G-Man. And the reason why I'm doing this is because this shit just upset me because I saw it. And I watched it last time and the shit happened where it didn't go through. So, I get to tell same jokes, probably a little bit new to everybody because you guys didn't get the chance to watch it. So, yay. And before we get to that, I will say this. So, if you're going to have the question of what you're attracted to or your sexuality is as a choice, That says more about you than the people that's practicing. Here's the thing. Now, said I was born in '82, so give you a little context of what's going on. It was like 5, 6, or 7. It was this movie with Warren Beatty, whatever the fuck his name was, called Dick Tracy. And I thought we had the movie because it was on cassette tapes. And if you don't know what a VCR cassette tape is, I have nothing. I just can't finish that sentence because that shit was... I still actually have some. I literally, in my closet, as a grown adult, I actually have some. And some of them are kind of the same thing that I'm going to talk about in the story, but fuck it. Oh well. I was looking for a Dick Tracy tape, and I saw a tape that says the original Dick. I thought it was the original Dick Tracy tape. I'm sorry, I didn't. I popped it in, and I saw a man with 2 women, and they were fucking. And I was like, ooh, she looks nice. What are those things? They're nice and round. And what's that thing between her legs? Oh, is that vagina? Now, granted, I didn't, at 5, 6, or 7, I physically can't have an erection, but I was like, that looks awesome. Naked woman. But, that's the thing. We all know at a very young age what we like and what we don't like. And for these people that say things like who you're attracted to is a choice, it's not. It's instinctual. It's just something that you feel. And it definitely begs the question, are they choosing to be straight? Is it about the choices they make? I don't know. Because in the end, I don't choose to like women as much as I do. I will be very honest. I really enjoy women. I don't choose to... God. I didn't choose at 14 to write somewhat explicit poetry about my fantasies with women. Not in a disrespectful way, but just in a way of like, this is my desire. This is my hunger, to say the least. No one forced me to actually do that. It wasn't really a choice. It was a choice in the words that I chose. But it wasn't a choice in... It wasn't a choice in the actual desire. It's a choice in the actions. But again, those are actions that you choose, not the instinctual shit. But let's go. That fucking smoke alarm irritates me. And you know what? If it wasn't for that, I stopped it right now. If it wasn't for that, this is what I hate about doing his videos. He spends so much time just... It's visually... Okay, so check this out. And I know I'm steady trying to... All right. So... All right, so let's do this. Let's put my Conan Exile character right here. So let's have this conversation. It's a reason why when I do videos where it's short and sweet, a few minutes, that I keep it short and sweet. You don't see any gameplay. You don't hear any fucking thing. But when I know that I'm gonna do extended, pontifications on videos, extended commentary on videos, I know I have to keep you guys visually entertained. Even if it's some bullshitty ass Conan Exile games where I'm playing to try to just build shit. I know this. At least keep people's eyes busy and shit. Because you can get bored sitting quietly looking like a fucking 14-year-old little boy. Quite literally, this motherfucker looks like a 14-year-old fucking boy. And let's actually bring that video up. And let's resize that. Nah, you guys can't see anything that I need over there. We're going to open up this video. Just a little bit. Window capture. Video. Where's video? Alright. We're actually going to expand it out a little bit more. Alright. So, you guys aren't missing anything. I'm mostly building shit. Alright. Dude, get you some testosterone. I know several people have taken your testicles. That's probably why you don't have any testosterone, but fucking, like, show your ball spot. Show that you are old or some shit. Hello, Pot. This is Kettle calling. I don't wear headphones to hide my grays. I have fucking grays. Have no problem with me actually knowing that I'm a 37-year-old man. Fuck it. I made it this long. Especially me in the 90s as an African-American in Auburn, Gresham in Chicago. And if in case you guys ever wonder, 60620 actually is a reference to my zip code where I grew up with. It's Auburn, Gresham in Chicago. So that's why it is. That's why I have it. But fucking look like an adult. Look like you're engaged with these videos. Instead of some screeching, hollering raccoon. I understand the connotations that it came. Screeching, hollering rodent at a camera. But let's continue. Change that fucking smoke detector.
All right, let's get started with this Hangout. This is going to be an open Google Hangout. You're going to be able to call in to this particular show via Skype. If you have a question or a comment that you want to make or a statement that you want to make regarding this. The only thing is you have to be on my Skype, obviously, to find me on Skype. Just type in G-Man and you should be able to find me there. And I will be on Skype. If you're already on my Skype after you hear what I got to say and you want to chime in on this, you can, again, call me on Skype. But give me time to actually get my stuff out there because I will not answer Skype if I haven't even said nothing yet.
All right. So this Skype is going to play an important role later. It is definitely going to play an important role later. And shout out to who did the Skype call and talk with them. That was fucking hilarious. You know who the fuck you are. And you know the fuck it was awesome the way he ran from you on Skype. But let's continue.
So welcome to GTV. I am G-Man, your host. And today, I want to deal with this issue of whether or not homosexuality is a choice. It's a pretty serious question that needs some answering. I almost did this on my main channel, and I kind of wish I would have, but I'm going to be talking about this topic for a while. Not on this channel necessarily. I'm going to be on Blog Talk Radio. We have a lot of audios out there on this particular topic because we're told by the scientific community that people are born with a gay gene. And
okay, so first of all, it's not an important conversation. It's only important to people that have it on their mind. When I meet somebody, I don't ask or care if they're gay, except if it's a bisexual woman and she wants to actually have a polyamorous relationship, then that's a different story. But that's my kink, and I don't kink shame. But let's talk about this. From one G Man, little Gary, I severely think that if it's so important to you, it must be a reason. Are you trying to fight back a choice that you're trying to make sure you don't make? Which is fucking hilarious because if he came out tomorrow and says, "Yeah, I have gay thoughts, but the Holy Spirit keeps it away." Wait, I'm at a minute and 30 seconds. I wonder how that would sound.
I'm not into the idea of two guys getting together and having sexually doing things with each other sexually. As far as me doing any of that kind of stuff, I fill my mind with the Word of God. I retain God in my thoughts on this particular topic, and the Holy Spirit was constantly reminding me about God's Word, and it keeps me away from that.
Oh, God.
All right, we're not gonna play that part because I still have nightmares sometime. Okay, so we're in a minute and 30 seconds. Okay.
Told by the scientific.
So another thing I want to actually address, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe my understanding of pop science, because it's all it is pop science. I've heard there are certain tendencies, and what I mean by tendencies, I know they did a study that if you have an older brother, there's a chance that younger siblings may actually be gay or bisexual. That's actually have been a scientific study on that, and I don't want to cite the sources because I'm not pulling out of my ass, but I do know that there have been scientific studies done on it. But yeah, it's not like mammals are naturally just horny fucking animals that would hump anything to make sure that they, got the rocks off. But that's just mammals. We ain't nothing like animals that cut up with people up like cantaloupes. If we can update animals and antelopes, but there's no reason for another man and one man and another man can get a little. Oh, fuck! I fucked up that whole I'm Slim Shady shit. But you can tell I'm a fucking child of the '90s and 2000s because I memorized that fucking album. But let's continue.
The community that people are born with a gay gene, and because of this gay gene that they have, that they are going to be that means they're just going to be naturally attracted to the same sex. We're also told by the scientific community, a lot of the people in the scientific community, particularly from evolutionists, that homosexuality is perfectly normal, and they also say that what's the other thing I was going to say? Oh, that is not a choice. Homosexuality is not a choice. Now, I don't need a video for something like this because I can articulate this entire argument on my own because I've heard it on the LGBT side and I've heard it from obviously my side, the Christians.
All right, so I'm not gonna give him shit about not knowing the whole acronym. I don't. I just know people that's not exactly straight. Boo hoo, woo hoo. Quite frankly, the sample size is actually bigger than what a lot of people admit. Their sexuality is a scale, and there are some people that are on one end of the scale versus the other. And how about this? We treat people as fucking people and don't give a fuck about who they want to fuck that's in a consensual relationship and leave it at that. Instead of trying to pass laws about how they should do and try to stand up and say, well, I don't want to bake a cake for you because what you're doing in your bedroom offends my social or religious beliefs. Dude, they not fucking you. Why does the fuck does it matter? Just say, okay, I can't do a cake with two grooms because that'll throw off of my, groom bride, count. But Maybe I'll tell your lesbian friends to like have wedding cake made, and that'll throw off that keep my inventory of records. And I joke, but in the end, why does it fucking matter? Nobody is gonna come in and tell me, a straight man, you gotta like men, or like, no, don't. My equipment doesn't work that way. Sorry. And by the same token, I don't feel it's my right to tell somebody who the fuck to like or fuck or whatever. Not my right. Because in the end, it's not a fucking choice. It's who you are. And anybody who says, no, it's a choice, it may be a choice for you. And that's probably why you have so many issues. But let's continue.
Side. And I don't need a video, but I do want you guys to listen to a news report. I bet we can watch it, and then I'm going to be talking on this news report. And I also want you guys to watch it too, because I want to hear your feedback on this. Of course, this is going to be CNN. I don't know who CNN fans watching this or whatever. I'm not a.
So he openly acknowledges that, hey, it's CNN, and you know, my fans should preclude themselves from getting information, even from sources that they don't actually agree with, in order to feel safe in their worldview. First of all, G-Man, fuck you on that. But, and I said this when I first did the video. I don't think G-Man understands that even the host in this discussion has a vested interest in this conversation. And the host would actually tell you it's not a choice. I don't think he realizes that, maybe because he doesn't keep up with news events or shit like that. But you guys will see when he brings up the video what I mean. And no, I'm not outing somebody. Quite literally, he has been outed. He was actually outed by his boyfriend. And dude, it's okay. You fucking stand in middle of. Let me stop. I don't want to ruin the surprise, but this motherfucker does more manly shit than I does as a reporter. Standing out in fucking hurricanes in a black fucking t-shirt and a hoodie. Let's go.
CNN fan, but I don't like TV. Period. To be perfectly honest, I just don't watch a lot of it. But I wanted to find a video where somebody was talking about being gay is not a choice or whatever, right? So,
all right. So does he not watch TV because, one, he doesn't want to be exposed to, or should I say, A, he doesn't want to be exposed to new ideas outside of his own closed-minded view of the world. B, because he's too broke to afford cable television because he has either no job or a shitty-ass job. Or C, because he may see a handsome man and his pee-pee may feel funny. Or D, all of the above.
So, I want you guys to see this for yourself instead of me actually saying it here. This is the video right here. Present this to everyone. So I'm gonna let you all hear this so that you can appreciate why I'm doing this video.
Cooper 360, weeknights at 8 and 10 on CNN. Julian Bond, as I mentioned to Spike, he was on the program recently, and he talked about the fight for equality.
All right. Okay. So if you're going to show a fucking video, G-Man, do this. See, watch this. Now, at first, I thought this was, this was me. But watch this. Full screen works wonders. When I first watched this video, like, the fuck? Did I just not put this on full screen? But full screen works wonders. You can actually look at shit. And look at this. He's going to make a point where he's just trying to see this shit later. How a black community handles Jason Collins coming out. I am black. I am gay. And yes, I'm a Christian. Meaning that people that believe in Jesus Christ and God, they're Christians, but they can also be homosexual. Man, it's okay. It's okay. It's safe for you. You can be whoever you want to be as long as it's not stupid. It's okay. It's fine. People would accept you. You would have to kind of apologize for being a hateful, malicious little bastard, but once you do that sincerely, then I'm sure that they would accept you. But let's continue.
Equality for gays and lesbians now as being part of the continuum of the civil rights movement for African Americans. Do you?
Now, this is all I'm going to say on the matter unless somebody else brings this up. I do not believe that when people are trying to fight for the rights of LGBT, that is on the same level of fighting for civil rights. It's not even close. And it's very, very, very offensive when I hear people talking like this. But that's all I'm going to say about that.
All right. So this quite frankly, this sociopath. I'm sorry. Psychopaths are a little bit more, they're a little bit more intelligent. And they can at least determine somebody's value and actually have emotions. But this sociopath, which has no emotional control, doesn't understand the context of what people are saying. There are people still being killed for being homosexuals. There are still people being bullied for being homosexual. There are people that are still being put out their houses as teenagers because their parents don't understand how this is who they are. And I think Wanda Sykes said it best. Like, it's hard, especially when you had to. She said when she came out to her parents, she never had to come out saying, "Oh, parents, I got to let you know that I'm black." But the whole idea of this social stigma that primarily ebbs and flows depending on the era and the culture that you're in is still so strong that parents will kick their children out of the fucking house for not being normal. There is the fucking hate crime law that was primarily put into play because I forgot it's Matthew something, but somebody was so bigoted and so homophobic that they fucking killed a kid and hung him to a fucking fence. Quite frankly, G-Man, you get some of this same hatred, some of this same fucking hatred about joking about how the G stands for gay man, and you get so much of this bullying. Imagine how it is for kids or even adults that face it and are accepting of who they are, but are still told that they're defective. So fuck you. Any persecuted minority, any persecuted people of our society or our civil community, they still deserve the fucking rights. And I know you're going to say, well, black people were slaves, which you have no problem with slavery. Let's just be honest, because you said it was okay in the Bible. You had no problem with slavery. Black people had the corner market on the oppression Olympics. And this is why I kind of understand some of the anti-SJW shit, because some people were so oppressed that I'm the victim. But you kind of got to remember there are other people that are victims too. So in the end, let's not be assholes to people that are also suffering, because it's your special type of suffering. Get the fuck out of here, dude.
See it that way, because that offends some people making that comparison.
Well, I definitely see it as a continuum of civil rights. There's a civil rights movement that are capital C and capital R, and then there's little c and little r. And I see this as part of the civil rights movement in terms of we're still fighting for all equality. As far as the African American community is concerned, I think you heard a lot of the hesitation voiced in what the professor said and how he characterized things. From my perspective, a lot of it sounded as if he believes, or at least was characterizing it as it being a choice, like a viable alternative lifestyle. As if there's some sort of gay lifestyle that can be chosen. Sexual orientation is a part of your being, just like eye color, just like the color of your skin. That part makes African.
I'm glad you
All right, let's hit it.
heard it come out of his mouth. I'm very happy you heard that come out of his mouth. What he's going to say, actually, a little bit more into this, it's a little bit more shocking. But he says it's part of your being. It's like being part of your eye color, like this part of who you are. It's not a choice. It's just who you are, right? Okay.
All right. So you hear this incredulity from G-Man about how dare he say it's part of who he is? How dare this? How dare that? No, motherfucker. How dare you? How fucking dare you? How could you belittle somebody's experience about who they are and what they purport to be? Like, who made you the arbiter of what's going on inside somebody's heart, their head? This self-righteous fucking attitude of, well, they're choosing to be this way, they're choosing to be that way. Again, is it a choice for you? But let's continue.
Comfortable, but I can't really help the fact that people are going to be uncomfortable with the truth.
Professor, what about that? And also, what about those like?
And I want to make it a point to say this. I don't know if people are aware of this. I'll put it to you this way: if you're a Christian and you see me deal with the Hebrew Israelites, and you know that there's that one question that you can ask to kill that nonsense that the Hebrew Israelites like to bring up a lot. Like, for example, you can bring up Acts 2:38 for their whole argument that salvation is only for Israel, right? Well, in that same way that we can shut the Hebrew Israelites up with one simple question, this stuff about, being gay is not a choice. The whole gay gene argument, saying that it's just part of your being, you can eliminate with only one statement, and that's it. And no.
All right. So what's this great statement, G-Man? What is this great G logic? Because you've done a great G search. What is this statement? What is this fucking statement that has answered millennial old questions about why people choose to try to fuck what they can? Like, quite literally, people will try to fuck anything. They have wooden phalluses from the fucking Stone and Bronze Age. Quite literally, Dionysus used to be worshipped with a statue of a giant wooden phallus in his temple, connected to a statue. So please tell me, G-Man, what way do you have of answering this whole sociological question that why do people try to fuck what they try to fuck? Please enlighten us, G-Man.
It is not the statement that you hear me use a lot, and that is unnatural. No, there's something far, far, far better than that you can say.
Julian Bond to say that this is part of and it continues.
Wait. Let's kind of go back. Not on mobile, so I can't.
No, there's something far, far, far better than that you can say.
Julian Bond to say that this is part of and a continuation of the civil rights.
Wait. I kind of missed.
You bring up Acts 2:38 for their whole argument that salvation is only for Israel, right? Well, in that same way that we can shut the Hebrew Israelites up with one simple question, this stuff about, being gay is not a choice. The whole gay gene argument, saying that it's just part of your being, you can eliminate with only one statement, and that's it. And no, it is not the statement that you hear me use a lot, and that is unnatural. No, there's something far, far, far better than that you can say.
Julian Bond would say that this is part of
All right, so here's the thing. If it exists in nature, then it's natural. You fucking idiot. Hey, does something exist in nature? Yes? Then it's fucking natural. Hey, does your God exist in nature? Well, no, he's above nature. Then he's fucking not natural. Oh, wait. And if he's not natural, he's not part of the universe. But let's fucking continue. I went on a small little philosophical rant, which I don't want to really do. He's not worth my fucking effort and the headache that I would get from going on philosophy.
continuation of the civil rights movement.
Well, the first thing I'll say is that I think that most people should try to understand the fact that being gay in many cases is not a choice. I don't believe it's a choice. And I think that people should be accepted for who they are.
Now, what CNN managed to do here was this: how Black community handles Jason Collins coming out, right? And it says, Granderson, it's important gay athletes open. No, actually, before that, it says, and yes, I'm a Christian. That's what it said earlier, but I guess they changed it. I'll try to rewind this here a little bit so you can actually see what I'm talking about.
So, what's so wrong with him being a Christian, G-Man? Like, I don't get it. And somebody who is... This is the same person that says, by grace you are saved and not by works of your hands. This is quite literally the same person. I think he struggles to miss the contradiction that whatever he says, he always says it. He's like, you have to profess that Jesus Christ that is your Lord and Savior. But he, like, did I miss something? Am I being trolled because it doesn't fit his sensibility of the world? Then because reasons? Like, did I fucking miss this? Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm missing something where I think that he's trying to convince himself that he's the perfect Christian when he has shit like this that he's thinking about constantly. I wonder why.
I'm not crazy. I know I saw it there. But anyway, let me play this.
Should try to understand the fact that being gay in many cases is not a choice. I don't believe it's a choice. And I think that people should be accepted for who they are. I think that the idea, however, that the gay rights movement is piggybacking or is similar to the civil rights movement, I think makes people a little bit uncomfortable. I think the gay rights movement can be seen as something that is, powerful and beautiful in itself. I don't think that that saying, well, this is just like the civil rights movement, or because you were a Black person who was oppressed in Alabama in 1855, that you should, or 1955, you should identify with what the gay community is going through.
No.
All right, so here's the thing. Kind of like, fuck. Did I not just do a video on my YouTube channel talking about Cornel West? How he's like, yeah, we kind of need to have civil rights for everyone. Civil, meaning fucking civil, brotherly, shit like that. Quite literally, it's the rights extended to our society and to our civilization for people who are in that civilization. And quite frankly, it is a fucking civil rights. Now, can people that are not straight be identified as easily as people of color? Just by looking at somebody in the lineup, can you tell? No. But does that mean that they're any less discriminated from? Fucking yeah, they are discriminated against. And I don't see why it is so hard for this motherfucker to miss that. But let's continue.
Oh, no. It's not even close to being the same thing. I'll give you a practical example of how it's not. Now I'm going to talk about this. I'll give you one practical example of how it's not the same thing. A gay person can go to a water fountain that both blacks and whites actually use.
Let's let him finish his. Ooh, ooh, ooh. God damn it. God damn it. God damn it. We're going to have to stop this right here. G-Man has actually fucking accurately used an analogy, albeit it's an incorrect conclusion to the analogy, but he has fucking used an analogy the correct way. Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm going to probably hit on Discord and actually tell Drag this. He used an analogy on some shit correctly, however, wrong conclusion, but he used it correctly. Now, how much practice is it taking to get this particular analogy right? That may be another thing, but I'm so proud of G-Man. Let me get this timestamp. I have a timestamp of him. Like, hold on. From when I did the video the first time. Like, I'm just so proud. Let's go to docs. I have so many docs. You guys probably don't need to see all of my docs. Here we go. From the first time I was going through the video. And what is this timestamp? 8 minutes. 8 minutes. All right, so. It's fucking 8 minutes. God damn it. He used the times. And I'm going to get to these timestamps. So. Analogy. A now low G may be wrong. Correctly. Oh wow. I'm somebody who heavily depends on spell check. Maybe I misspelled wrong. Spell check. On published works, I put the shit out correctly, so hate me. But spell check is a friend.
If I, as a black man, went to a water fountain and tried to drink from that fountain that said whites only, I ran the risk of being hung on a tree. I ran the risk of being killed on the spot while other people walk by and act like they didn't see anything. It's not even close.
All right, so
and that's just one example.
Okay, so here's the thing. You are correct, sir. But you are also missing the fact that the Spanish Inquisition happened. You also missing the fact that, you know, in your precious Bible, which was a later edition, people used to get stoned for being gay. It wasn't in the first copy. It definitely wasn't in the first Levitical laws that were handed down to Moses. But, you know, who says the Bible is consistent, right? But, fun fact, people are still being killed because they're homosexual. But you wouldn't know that because you're praying that the Holy Spirit keeps your mind filled up and you don't think about two guys. Let's continue.
Like, honestly, I think black people need to start taking these people to court and start suing these people for saying stuff like this. Like, honestly.
Victimhood, maybe much. A lot. Super a lot. I'm gonna sue somebody who said that their civil rights movement to try to love who they want to love is not the same as a civil rights movement for voting, for housing where people want to live, to marry who they want to. Oh, oh, yeah. Doesn't work real well, does it, G-Man? But let's continue.
I think that people are going to choose their battles, and I think that to compare the gay rights movement to the civil rights movement is like comparing the civil rights movement to the American Revolution. These were all movements in their own right, and I think the imposition or somehow imperial
It's definitely not on the same level as a revolutionary.
Wait, whoa. Never mind, like one of the leaders, Dr. King, actually compared it to the American Revolution. His I have a dream was saying, I have a dream that someday we would actually live up to the creed of that American promise. But yet and still, it's not the same. Fucking of course it's the same. Because you have a people that are fighting for the rights, be it violent or non-violent, in order to determine their own future, to have some agency in how they want to live their life. Yes, the civil rights movement is analogous to the American Revolution. And so are the rights for people. Those certain inalienable rights endowed to them by their creator, be it themselves be it a deity as a creator, which were most of the original founding fathers were deists, or the creation that we have as a society that we've created to come together in order to form a more perfect union. God, some of these people need to fucking study just a little bit of history. I know very little history. I know very little shit. The shit that I know are from watching YouTube videos and some of the fucking books I picked up from high school, even shit that I read in my college studies. This shit isn't hard. I'm a fucking layman and I can knock the sense out of your fucking arguments like this. Come on now.
The revolution that we had with the Revolutionary War and whatnot. Not even close. It's not even close. See, in my opinion, and I want to make sure I emphasize this because, like I said, I don't like talking about politics on here too much.
Your opinion is wrong. And if you're talking about religion, newsflash, G man, everything is fucking politics. Be it the expulsion, be it you expounding on the fucking your religious beliefs in a way that are demonstrably hateful and demonstrably are exclusive to other people and how they should actually be and live their life, that's still fucking advocating for a policy. And that's what politics are, advocating for a fucking policy. But let's fucking continue.
But in my opinion, I believe that their whole agenda is to force everybody to accept them. That's what it is. They want everybody in the whole world to accept them. And then that's not even going to be enough. They're not going to be happy until everybody's bisexual. That's what I believe.
realizing that
Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. So now I'm gonna have to worry about actually dealing with women that I'm not attracted to, be it physically or in most cases for me, emotionally. Now I have to worry about dealing with some men that I'm not attracted to, all because of the gay agenda. Like, the fuck is wrong with you? Like, no. That would be called rape, G-man. If somebody forces you to have sex against your will, that's rape. Now I know there are literally people I've actually heard somebody's like, I wish the world was more pansexual and call it a day. They don't say that because they want that good old G-man booty or penis. That's not what they're saying it. They want more acceptance. And yeah, in that world where they quote unquote want that, it's just so people have more fucking empathy to their plight versus just treating them like they're nothing. But your imagination goes some strange fucking places for somebody who purports to be a very heterosexual man. I don't know. Every like literally, and this may tell more about my proclivities than anything. When I think same-sex relationships, the first thing that comes to my mind are two women having a same-sex relationship where I'm a part of. That's the first thing that comes to my mind. Maybe that's my kink. That's the first thing that comes to my mind. And I don't quite literally, I can't shame somebody for their own kink about being homosexual when the first thing that comes to my mind is two women that encourage me to be their third. That's the first thing that comes to my mind. But it's like people like you who just think, gay butt stuff. Like, the fuck is wrong with you? Like, I don't know. Let's continue.
Thinking of a group of people and saying that you have to be on board with this, and if you disagree in any way, we're going to ostracize you. I think that's incredibly unfair, and I can't support that.
All right, so, and that's a fucking boss probably. Let's see. So here's the thing with this shit. So you're fucking right. If you're not gonna support certain people's lifestyle or guidelines or opinions, they do fucking ostracize you. I get that. And those people are not leftists really. They're just totalitarians with a different doctrine. If you can't just let somebody fucking live and be the person that they want to be without you imposing some arbitrary rules or systems on them because what they do makes you uncomfortable. Not that what they do hurts people. Hurting people is different. But because they make you uncomfortable and they make your pants feel funny, then you deserve to be mocked and really ridiculed, because in the end you're being an asshole. And really now, you're such a big strong person, but criticism, critique, and comments hurt your feelings so bad that you feel ostracized. But let's continue.
All right, so that's the video I wanted you guys to pretty much see. So the guy's trying to make an argument that being homosexual is part of your being, is who you are. And of course, we've heard the gay Jane argument and some other arguments that people have made to try to suggest that it's perfectly natural and perfectly normal. We've heard the arguments where
stop fucking scratching and tweaking like you are on fucking meth. Dude, stop. Because if you were on meth, your marathon times would be a lot better than what they are. Be running the shit out of those motherfucking marathons. What is that Dave Chappelle skit where he's like, do y'all have some Red Balls? And he does some crazy crackhead shit. Like, I'll digress. I can just imagine with the white shit around his mouth. He already got the hat on. The shit is crazy. Oh, the shit is crazy. Do I have some Red Balls? Oh, just a terrible person. Oh God, oh God. I think I'm getting tired, guys. I think I'm getting sleepy because that shit. Hold on, let me see if I can find a video. Let me see if I can find a video for real. Hold on, hold on. Oh God, oh God. Let's open it up in a new video. Let's open up in a new tab. Let's see. Um. All right. Cool. 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 Fuck. Skylar's broadcasting right now. I have to watch that a little bit later. Dave Chappelle. Oh no. Tyrone Bingham's Red Balls.
Now cocaine comes in a delicious shape.
I just need to have some shit around his lips. He passed a red hat on and a blue shirt. I'm sorry.
Red balls. It gives me wings.
I'm sorry. That shit was awesome. That shit is awesome. Oh God. The fuck. Oh, what the fuck? All right, all right. I'm sorry. I just had to get that shit. That shit was awesome. That shit was awesome.
You know, where we see this going on in nature. There's no other alternative explanation for it. It goes on, therefore, you know what I mean, is natural, as they would say. I didn't make this. I'm not making this video to talk about whether or not it's natural or whether or not it's unnatural. I'm going to deal with this whole thing about it being a choice, because I believe in order for you to believe that homosexuality is not a choice, I believe that you have to take everything that you learned in grammar school, everything that you learned in high school, and if you went to college, everything that you learned in college, you have to go to the bathroom, poop in a bag, take your education, put it in the bag, go like that, and then throw it away.
Okay, okay. So I guess we're doing this. We're doing this. We're doing this. We're doing this.
Morty, you have to help me.
Summer, he's happy. I'm happy. Is that why you're doing this?
Really?
You don't want me and Rick to be happy?
No.
Well, then get your shit together. Get it all together and put it in a backpack. All your shit, so it's together. And if you gotta take it somewhere, you know? Take it to the shit store and sell it. Or put it in a shit museum. I don't care what you do. You just gotta get it together.
Get your shit together. I will leave a window open so I can just search the shit.
That's what I believe you have to do to believe something like that. Because I ain't gonna lie, guys, that is some of the stupidest thinking I ever heard in my life. It's part of your being, is who you are. It's not a choice. Well, I got the one thing that you can say to somebody regarding this that will completely and utterly just crush it. It's called repentance. Riddle me this, or answer me this. Are there anybody in the world, can we find at least one person?
Riddle you this. I can riddle a lot of shit to you. And I believe that I would fucking stomp the shit out of you. On my way to St. Ives, I met 7 men with 7 wives. 7 wives had 7 kids. 7 kids had 7 sacks. 7 sacks had 7 cats. 7 cats had 7 kittens. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna stop now. But dude, it happens in nature. Get over it. But you know what? I have a theory. I have a theory that a lot of Christians have a problem with understanding reality, facts, the difference between metaphor and simile. I really think that a lot of Christians do have that problem. Not because they are in some way mentally deficient because of reasons, but I think they have that issue because, well, they're told to believe that a book with obviously stories, which are metaphors and similes, are 100% true and literal. And so that can fuck with your perception of how reality works. And it leads you in some cases not being able to work that lyrical muscle or literary muscle that comes with understanding what's similes, what's satire, what's, sarcasm. I think this is a lot of things, reasons why you see a lot of people on the right wing of politics having so many issues because they can't literally understand what is metaphor, simile, or even in some cases hyperbole. But let's continue.
Who can tell you they used to be gay? If it's not a choice, if it's not a choice like you say it is, and a person comes to you and say, "Oh, I used to be gay," what does that tell you? They chose to not be that way anymore.
Okay, so let's unpack that statement. Like the opposite of us packing shit together. That metaphor needs to die right now. Okay. Just like this motherfucker. Die, you bastard. Really? Fuck you. Oh, I'm sorry. That whole violence thing kind of got me. Anyway, there are people who act straight. There are people who try to pass. That doesn't mean that they're no longer desiring or attracted to that part of their being. Maybe they're just bisexual. Maybe they were just trying to say, I want to be right in the eyes of society. And so I'm not going to act out on my desires like I want to. You know, how being a thief and stealing $3,000, you can't act out that way every day. Or being a just, pathological liar. No. Some people choose to do certain things. Some people don't. Some people it's just a part of their nature. And again, sexuality is a scale. Maybe these people chose to be in order to fit in. Maybe some people wanted to actually have a family, but they still had certain desires that they want to actually fulfill. That doesn't make them never was gay. That just makes them in lack of a better words, no longer choosing to have that activity. And in some cases, people kill themselves. In some cases, people were severely alcoholic because they had a desire to be something that was outside of what society called normal. And they use things like alcohols or drugs to cope with it. Being abusive to cope with the shit. That shit happens. But let's continue.
I can end the video right now. Because you can't argue with that. There are too many different testimonies out there with people saying, I used to be in that lifestyle, now I know Christ is my savior. I used to be in that lifestyle, now I know Allah, or whatever.
So you just actually pointed out what is going on. Can you choose to be in a lifestyle? Yes. But if someone didn't have sex, does that make them gay? No matter if they were attracted to the same sex or the opposite sex. Because there are people that are not heterosexual or homosexual, they're asexual. What does that make them? Are they wrong because they don't want to have sex? Is that what you're going to sit back and tell somebody? That because you don't want to have sex, you're a wrong person. You're being a sinner.
Some people be like, I used to be in that lifestyle, now I'm part of this religious belief or whatever. And I'm happily married with my wife. You know what I mean? So,
all right. So, something tells me this isn't something that you would ever come across. So, let's just have this conversation. I myself am a heterosexual cis. I never understood that concept because I've just always been me. Be it a strong person, be it a masculine person, just been me. But I also am somebody who's attracted to people's intelligence. And in a lot of cases that can override my physical attraction to said woman. And it would make me want to actually either not deal with them at all or cleave closer to them. Quite frankly, you can be desiring a relationship with someone and not be sexually attracted to them, or be not as sexually attracted to them as you are emotionally or mentally. This shit happens. But you have to be somewhat of an emotional person besides the default anger to understand that shit. But let's continue.
let me see what you guys think in the comment section before I show you the second video. Because honestly, I can end the video right now. There's nothing anybody can say about that. There's really nothing nobody can say about that. And my Skype is open. If you want to call in and have a brief conversation about it, don't really care who you are. Just you could be Gary Ridgway for all the heck I care. You can call on here. Just make sure you stay on topic, because if you don't.
So here's the thing about G-Man. He is sometimes I think he searches for attention. Because in the end, it's like the whole comment about you can be Gary Ridgway. It's just like he's saying, I need attention. Pay attention to me. Please, please, please pay attention to me. Without even having anything substantive to say. Like, really, dog? Really? Really? Like, is it really that bad? Do you really need that much attention that you would invite the person that got you fired to a conversation because you need somebody to argue with? Are you gonna get what you requested? And I think after that I won't end the stream, but you're gonna get what you requested, and the shit is gonna be funny. Heh, I said shit. Let's go.
I will hang up on you. Okay, so if you're on my Skype, give me a call on Skype and we can talk about this and whatnot. Is being homosexual a choice? That is the topic. I'm actually going to try to get on Debate Talk for You and actually talk about this too, because again, I do not believe that homosexuality is what these pseudoscientists on here saying, these evolutionists saying, when they say that, well, homosexuality is not a choice. You're just born that way. There's a gay gene. And once you're that way, you can never change.
I thought my impression was
because when you say that homosexuality is not a choice, That's what you're saying. That once you're that way, that's it. I'm saying a person can recognize that the attractions that they have to other people is sinful, and that they can repent and they can get right with God. You have to remember something. You are born sinners and you are shapen in iniquity. You know, if I choose to get away from the science part and get right into my Bible, is going to be a wrap super quick.
Why does he give us like, for real? He just gave us his thought process. He just did. No hiding, no anything. He just says, well, the person can recognize I have an attraction, but recognize that attraction can be sinful. Should I play the video again of him talking about how he has to have the Holy Spirit actually keep those thoughts out of his mind? Dude, stop being a coward. Come out like Ted Haggard. Go sniff you some, do you some meth off the lines of meth off the ass cheeks of a gay prostitute. We will be more outraged that you were doing drugs because you could have used that for your fucking marathon. But don't start this whole condemnation of a people's particular attractions, their particular who they are, because you think it's sinful for yourself. Because that's all it is. But let's continue.
All right. It doesn't mean that you're born that way. I personally believe that a person felt a certain way about a person, was confused, and chose to be in that lifestyle. Not to mention, we already know that most people who are involved in this lifestyle are in the lifestyle because they was abused when they were growing up. And they're punishing.
So, no, you fucking ignorant, homophobic piece of shit. People choose to be who they are. But your attraction is not something that somebody can fucking rape into you. It can't. They can't. And I almost said I'm sorry. But no, you bigoted piece of self-hating shit. All you are fucking worried about is making sure you don't look gay, because you take that as a sign of fucking weakness. But newsflash, asshole, you are a weak little bitch. Hashtag bitch man. And you sit back and you say this bullshit because you're too afraid to face what you may actually have the Holy Spirit pushing out of your head. Let's continue.
Themselves continually by continually being in those type of lifestyles and whatnot. Now, if you disagree with me, my mind's wide open on this topic. So,
yeah,
on the topic of whether or not it's a choice. If you do not, I'm sorry, if you believe that it's not a choice, call me on Skype and you can get in here. We can talk about it. So, I know Sabella's on here. I know Drag's on here. I know Hog Tie's on my Skype. Feel free to call in and we can talk about it.
So, notice he actually starts throwing out these names of people who he can actually get into an argument. He can actually say, look at these meano atheists. They're picking on me again. Like, you fucking victim ass motherfucking loser. Because it's not about you having a discussion. You name the people that hand you your shit and push it in on a regular basis that you're actually too scared to have a conversation with in rooms where you can't fucking control. That's not being bold for Christ, G-man. That's being a fucking coward for your fucking ego, however delicate it may be. And the fact that none of them called in because they may be doing other shit with their lives, and you get the caller that you get because they really want to talk to you and give you a platform to say all the stupid shit that you want to, but you're too afraid to address them, well then, yeah. Let's continue.
But homosexuality, my friends, is a choice. You choose to be that way. Just like just like they're choosing people to be forced to accept their lifestyle. Listen to me. There are some wonderful LGBT people out there. Some wonderful people. Some of the most funniest, wittiest, more educated people that's contributing to our society when they go to work, and they're doing their jobs very well. Some of them are great designers. Some of them help a lot of the supermodels with their.
And again, here go the stereotypical bullshit. I'm sorry. Like, it's just this shit. It irks my fucking soul sometimes that this motherfucker doesn't realize what type of a piece of shit that he is. And let's just go back a little bit. I want to actually address something that he said.
Just like they're choosing people to be forced to accept their lifestyle.
Almost as if a fucking 2,000-year-old religion started by fucking goat herders and fishers are forcing people to live the way that they want them to live, based on Bronze Age teachings, sayings, and stories. But who's forcing who, right? Who's forcing who? But let's continue.
Listen to me. There are some wonderful LGBT people out there. Some wonderful people. Some of the most funniest, wittiest, more educated people that's contributing to our society when they go to work, and they're doing their jobs very well. Some of them are great designers. Some of them help a lot of the supermodels with their walking. I think that's kind of funny, but they do it though. A lot of them seem to be really good at selling homes. There's a lot of them that's really good at real estate.
Wait. I think I may have some G logic here. There's no known people that's part of the LGBT community. LGBTQT. I mess up the analogy. But there's no people that actually, quote unquote, teach them how to walk. Is he talking about RuPaul's Drag Race? Does he not know? That's why he doesn't like TV. Does he not know? Ooh. I'm so fucking tired. This shit is just like tickling the shit out of me. But does he not know? Let's continue.
As far as the workplace goes, they're excellent with what they do. They're contributing to society. I don't have an issue with that. They're contributing. It's more of a moral issue to me personally. But
so there are people that are contributing to their society, but it's more of a moral person. And so again, I'm not one of those people that be like, "Oh, G-Man is acting this way because he's clearly hiding from being a homosexual." Now, we know that's the case, but there are some people that are just upset that there are, quote unquote, the gays are out and living their life in the sunlight, being who they are. And they're upset and repressed about something. A career path, a lifestyle. And I'm not just talking about homosexual lifestyle, but just they were told that they couldn't be something because it would be improper for them to be that person. And a lot of it's just repression. But let's continue.
Somebody let me a message on Skype. Let's see if who this is. Let me see something here. Let's see who wants to call in.
Oh,
all right.
Boy.
I guess I'll call you since you don't want to come in. I'll call you. So just give me a second here. Who's this guy, Monty? All right, so let's call this person here.
Monty.
All right, let me.
This is about to be some shit.
Oh, I see you. I'm about to let you talk to me in a minute.
This is some shit that are crimes against black people. We need civil rights to this whole dancing bullshit. Nah, dog, you can't. And you a fucking clown. But let's continue.
All right, sir. Do I call you what I see you here on Skype?
Yes, you can call me whatever you want to call me.
Okay, Monty. All right. So, Monty, what's your opinion on the matter? Do you believe that homosexuality is a choice, or do you believe it's not a choice?
I do not believe it's a choice.
All right. So why?
I believe it's basic genetics. I think it's. I have weird beliefs on this. I think that we're all like there's darkness and light in our hearts, and it becomes what it is. I think you're wrong by saying it's not a choice.
Okay, so what about a person? So what about all the people out there that say they used to be gay? How do you explain that?
I explain that by they're just, putting aside, what they feel for.
They're choosing not to be in the lifestyle. They're choosing not to be gay.
So this is what we call leading the witness. Where he's not actually saying that. It's people that's choosing not to act upon the desires that they normally want.
Choosing to be in a heterosexual relationship. Do you believe that being a heterosexual is a choice?
No, I don't think any of it's a choice.
Okay, so re-explain this to me then, because what you said didn't make no sense. If you're saying that that somebody sets it to the side.
No, it actually makes perfect sense. And if you haven't caught it on yet, this is the Hannibal. This is Monty from the Hannibal and Monty's shit show, and this is Monty, and the shit is hilarious. And what just happened? God damn it! What just happened? Let's see if I turn this mic off. Give me a second, guys. All right, there we go. But this shit was hilarious. Like, he opened it up and he caught somebody who's gonna push back on him and just not say just crazy shit to just because reasons. And the shit was hilarious. This is some shit. But let's continue.
Because if they're setting it aside, they're choosing to do that. They're making a conscious decision. They're making a conscious decision to no longer be attracted to someone of the same sex, and now they're making a conscious decision to get involved with somebody who's a heterosexual.
Okay, so this is a little bit of a bait and switch, but I don't even think that he realized he did it. Now, G-Man is originally talking about fucking behavior. The fucking part was inconsequential. But anyway, he's talking about behavior. Actually being in a lifestyle is different from being attracted to someone. And I don't think he realized that he did this quick switch. But that's effectively what happened. Someone can choose not to pursue a relationship with somebody. That doesn't. If I choose not to have sex with somebody, that doesn't make me asexual. That just means I choose not to have sex with this person. And I don't think, well, one, G-Man has had the opportunity to choose whether or not to have sex with somebody. Although I don't think he's the 40-year-old version, but I do think that he's had more pity fucks than actual general fucks or general fucks in his life. But, to each his own. Some people like perpetually looking like 14-year-old boys. I don't know. But let's continue.
No, see, I think you're framing it wrong. I don't think they're making a conscious decision to not be attracted. I think they're making a conscious decision to conform to what people want them to feel.
You.
I disagree. I mean, as a Christian and understanding what it means to be born again, I got to disagree with you on that one, because once you come to Christ and you start understanding how wrong the lifestyle is from a Christian point of view, because obviously the rest of the world don't feel that way. But, well, actually, I shouldn't say that, because then I'm speaking.
Did he just again? It sounds as if it's coming from a point of personal experience. Like, for real, G-Man. For real. Is this really personal experience for you? How you been thought about this and formulated all these ideas and plans? I think it is. But let's continue.
For Muslims and all these other people. But from a Christian point of view, homosexuality is looked upon as a sin. And if you come to Christ, if you decide to become a believer, that's one of the things that you have to repent of, and you can't be that way no more. And when you're born again, you become this new person. Those desires just ain't there no more.
What? How do you break that down? What makes that make sense? I'm not meeting you.
It's called repentance. And I believe it's really just simple common sense. I mean, if you're saying that it's not a choice, then you're
okay, G-Man. And I wanted to touch on this earlier. Just as you posed this question, is heterosexuality a choice? And he said no, and he blew your argument out the water. You see him just deconstructing this simple fucking argument. Now, I've watched some of the shit shows, and I have not seen philosophical arguments such as this on the shit shows. But damn it, it just takes a layman to destroy your fucking arguments, doesn't it? But let's continue.
You're saying that even while the person is a Christian, and while the person is a Christian, and they're supposedly born again, if you're claiming that is not a choice, you're saying that that Christian that have repented from that particular sin, that person's still technically gay. That's I'm sorry, that's a total contradiction to what the word says.
God damn it. Like, really, man, really. Like, you so fucking butthurt about someone not agreeing with you. Like, fuck. It's like, really? But let's continue.
Where it says that when you're born again, the old you go away, and behold, you become new. When I was in the world, I had certain interests, but when I came to Christ, those interests went away. I know, as much as I argue with the Hebrew Israelites about black nationalism, when I was,
whoa, again, dude, you protest too much. This is too fucking easy, and yeah, this is one of the ones I have as a timestamp. Like, wait, what the fuck are you saying? Are you quite literally saying that before you're a Christian, you had homosexual tendencies or desires? If that's literally what you are saying, then oh man, G-Man, come on. Please elaborate on this. But let's continue.
Was not a Christian, that was a topic for me. I like talking about those things. But now that I'm a follower of Christ, those things just don't interest me no more.
Okay, I'm trying to follow you here. You're losing me a bit.
Okay, so again, what you're trying to say is that when somebody becomes a Christian, you're still saying technically they're gay, even though they're not looking at nobody in a sexual way. They're not practicing the thing at all. They're actually openly telling everybody that lifestyle is wrong, and that they're involved now in a heterosexual relationship and they're happy.
Oh God. The projection is palpable in this whole conversation. Like, quite literally, G-Man is. But look, I got the required set. Like, I have the required set girlfriend, and I have the, like, quite literally, he is saying that he's literally saying that, but I did what I was supposed to do because reasons. Wow. Wow, G man. Let's continue.
So where are you getting this that they would still be gay since it's quote unquote not a choice?
I'm going to put it this way, and I don't know if this is going to work. It might not, but this is how I think about it. If I like chocolate cake and I eat way too much chocolate cake, and I find out from my doctor I need to stop eating all this chocolate cake, and I put aside eating chocolate cake because my doctor told me to. I still love chocolate cake, but I put it aside. I'm still a fan of chocolate cake. I've never stopped being one, but I put it aside because I want to live.
Well, you're going to love this second video that I'm going to show you because unfortunately this ex-homosexual who's a Christian doesn't feel that way anymore.
So we're going to let this shit play out, and I'm going to sign off for the night. I'm going to try to do some streams tomorrow. I got to go to my mother's house and help out some things. But let's watch this. Let's go.
So the cake idea is not very good. So I appreciate you calling.
I'm curious to see it. Bring it on. Bring it on.
Yeah.
I'm down.
Yeah.
I'm
appreciate.
not going to be right on everything.
I appreciate you calling. So I'm gonna hang up on you. You want to call back later? You can.
All right. Look, we got to dig deeper into some stuff. Look, G-Man, I'm going to tell you this. I'm Monty from Hannibal and Monty's show. We want you on our show.
Okay, so let's get back on the actual topic. You can talk to me about that some other day, but let's talk about the actual topic here. All right. I'm taking this kind of serious. All right. So let me just get to this here. All right.
Oh God. So you see how quickly G-Man got off the fucking conversation? This shit is hilarious. And I want to do shout out to Monty because this is fucking journalism. That's fucking journalism. That is fucking journalism right there. And I know the tone of their show is different from that, but that's fucking journalism. That's a fuck. I wish motherfuckers who were interviewing these fucking presidential candidates had the fucking tenacity to have conversations like that where they actually try to corner a fucking person that they're talking to in having a conversation expounding their beliefs. But as for right now, guys, it's about 11. It's about 10:30 here. I am fucking tired. I've been up since about 5:30 this morning. I want to thank everybody who's watched on the various platforms I have. It's on Twitch. Send me follow me. Facebook, Crimson 60620, PS4 Gaming. On YouTube, subscribe. I thank everybody who's watched. Please, guys, enjoy the rest of your night.